but I could not put it together in my head. And so I started to think a little more deeply about what's going on in the game. And so this first one here, this first run here, I'm gonna go in and I'm going to I'm gonna just observe. I'm not gonna say very much. I've just been kind of thinking. Big brain thinking. See how well it goes. I was thinking about... Well, I was thinking about a couple different things. I was thinking about, first of all, maybe I should come over to this side. There's their thing where they launched their probe thing, or whatever they did. Their laser thing, or whatever. I'm just gonna come in how I would have on the first day. You love to see me react to 40k lore content? I think I actually have a little bit before, but you mean like just like base 40k lore stuff, or like Age of Sigmar? I think is pretty interesting. I think Sigmar inspired a lot of Sargeras from World of Warcraft. I think it inspired a lot of his behavior. A lot of themes I think for Sargeras are pulled from him. Here we go. So, one of the first things is the significance of each stage of the dam breaking. So, I want to think in very broad terms here, and I don't want to overcomplicate things. So, staying in my boat would have been the first step in accomplishing that, but it is what it is. So we're gonna get back up here. Okay. And so, when the dam breaks, this first set of birds dies. And the reason why they're dying is not because their bodies are drowning. And I think that in my head yesterday, I wasn't doing a great job of separating the truth of why they were dying. They're not dying because they're drowning. They're already dead. They're dying because the fire is getting put out. So the green fire, whatever it is what's keeping their soul alive. So even though the body's dead, the fire is still there. Now, for these ones, they went to sleep, presumably. So they came here. We saw the thing, right? They held the artifact, which took a couple different tries. And they had the green fire and they go to sleep. Okay, so their bodies are here, decaying, long dead. Okay. But it's not that their bodies are being destroyed, it's that the fire is going out. The same way one would assume that this fire, if this fire goes out, that theirs all goes out as well. So I think it's like like a symbiotic thing, almost, of like, if the fire goes out, well then their link to this unconscious realm is severed. But what I also learned was that it's not, you don't just access it by going to sleep. If you die in the presence of the flame with the artifact will light and it will carry your consciousness to this dream either way. So it doesn't matter if you go to sleep with it in your hand, and it doesn't matter if you die when you go in. The difference between they and myself is that my body, my physical body, is not dead. So, when I do this, and the flame goes out, I wake up. But they don't. They all die. In the event that I stand on this fire and kill myself with the fire, then I will die, my body will have been killed, and my consciousness will be transported in. What I have yet to determine is if there is any difference in what you're able to access or not, whether you die or whether you sleep. I think it's the same thing fundamentally. But I think the point is that when they die, they discovered that they had kind of, maybe it was an accident, inadvertently created an afterlife. Because not only was it activating with this artifact that would allow them to sleep and tap into it, but it was activating upon the loss of life in the immediate vicinity. So, knowing that, if I go in dead and my flame goes out, I am dead, and I cannot come back. It's a reset of the loop. If I go in alive and my body is still there, when my light goes out, I come back to my body. However, I believe, and I'll have to check my ship log again, I believe my ship log, and I believe I saw that there was something that occurred when there was no body to return to. Now, what I need to understand is whether or not that was simply the implication that they are dying, and that's all there is to it, or if it's meant to imply that the way in which you can interact with the dream between being dead or alive is different. But I have no evidence of that. Now, so I went to 3 hidden archives, and I believe it was that each archive had a piece of information that was crucial to me putting together this puzzle. Now, one of the archives showed that when transitioning on the little raft between areas, that you go into kind of a loading period where if you leave the raft, you fall into this like other strange space, right? And I accessed said space, and from that space I was able to put out one of the 3 lights that had been set as a lock on a seal, one of 3, that keeps this vault closed. Now, what they actually put inside the vault is the mystery, I think. That's what's going on here, is like, what is the green fire? What is it inside the vault? I don't know. But I think that, maybe I'm wrong, I think that whatever is inside the vault is the source of the green fire that is essential for them to have built and interacted with this afterlife in this way. So I'm not entirely sure if what's in the vault is something they created, if it's something they found. What exactly what exactly that is and what it means, you know, for the whole thing. Now, in one loop, I've deactivated a seal, which is easy enough because I just access the broken area between loading. But then there's two other seals, one of which I can see some kind of weird glowing floating platforms for. If I put my instrument, my artifact down and look, I can see that there are some platforms, but they seem too high to jump up onto, so I don't think I can cross them. But I'm not sure. I would also, there's also another one that is to the left, and it's got a bridge with two of those sentry things that beep at me when they see me, and it like sets it off and it fucks it up. So I have to take the 3 pieces of knowledge, if there's not more than that, the 3 base ones at the very least from the archives, and use that knowledge to gain access to the other 2 pillars that I can use to extinguish the flames which seal the vault, so that I can open the vault up and figure out, which is over there, and figure out what they did with it. Because technically the vault, they sealed it under this thing, they put it under the water, which I'm curious why they did that. Why did they put it under the water? Why did they put it underwater? But I saw a thing where they took that, they transported it to the dark world, and then they took the vault like down below the island. It's been a long time since I've used an instrument to go into the vault fire, so maybe I need to explore that one more time. But I'm just sequentially trying to put some things together in my head, because this thing is going to be breaking very soon. When it breaks, the first area here floods, which kills the owls here. Which subsequently kills the owls at the party house, which let me get into there to get the archive information. And inside that archive, I can't remember what I learned. But that's the first step. This first one gets taken out. Then the tower gets jostled. But they don't die immediately. And so the 2 things that primarily change is that the birds there die. This becomes damaged. Yeah, that's gonna get torn up. The water level here goes very far down. That continues this way. It does a little bit of damage through here, breaks some of the stuff down there. And then the wave comes back around to eventually settle. So as a result of this happening, those birds die. This becomes unstable. Nothing really happens to cliffs, and the water level of vault goes down. So I'm thinking I should probably go and remind myself why the water level of the vault changing is relevant. And I need to also get on my ship because I do not recall the archival information that I retrieved when accessing some of these hidden areas. But the fact that the water uncovers the bell, it's been so long since I discovered the significance of that I don't really remember at all why it mattered. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to reach it because I think the water's moving too fast, but come on, don't fucking do this to me. Here goes down. That's what makes the fire accessible, because otherwise you can't get to it. Now, if I doze off here, wasn't there one whole movie of them ringing the bell early on? Yeah, but I don't know how to ring the bell. You haven't missed anything crazy, no. I'm trying to, at a very broad level, put some of this together. So this is where I initially found that there was... It's down, that the vault has moved down here in the dream world. Now, I wonder if and how things are affected by changes above. Like, I wonder if any of the stuff down here changes as time passes. Now, if I go out of my zone, you can clearly see that the raft comes over. You can clearly see a couple platforms over there. You can clearly see light coming from the sky, illuminating the path, which is what allows these things to see me. Now, because I don't know the combinations for these, I can access that one by going through the glitch and falling down over there. Now, what I thought was maybe by falling off of the raft in the load zone in different areas, that it would put me in different areas down here, but that didn't seem to be the case. That didn't seem to have worked. And so, what I'm struggling with is figuring out, because I can get rid of this middle seal. It's that one. But how do I get rid of the other two? That's where I'm struggling. Because I'm in the dream inside the bell. So if I go next to these things, they're gonna wake me up. That's what sets the bell off. So what if I die? Ooh, nice. Let's see. So what if I died? And then now that I'm here, what happens... And the music started. Has it really been that long already? Now, if I come in here dead, and I go over near those things, when they wake me up, what I think is going to happen is I'm just going to die. That the loop is going to be fucked. And then I'm going to die. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe the bell waking you up is different than your light going out. Wait, what the fuck? You don't hear it. You can't hear it. What the fuck? It doesn't work on you. When you're dead, you can't hear it. What the fuck? No. Okay, whoa. Okay, so glitch to fall down through 1. When you're dead, you can't hear. This? What is this? That's the end of the loop, is what that is. Now, how do I get across that? What's up, Bagnetic? What's up, you guys? Sorry I'm not like saying hello as you guys are coming in. You guys know I appreciate you being here. I'm just cooking right now. I'm Gordon Ramsay in this show. I'm cooking my ass off. So 1 is from the bell. So I think by this logic, the last one that I do, I think it has to be the bell. Because if I wake up, then I die. So the last one has to be that one. Which means the one where you fall through the glitch is a really good second choice. So maybe I'm meant to figure out the one with the platforms before the other two. Let me read my ship log. Okay, rumor mode. Okay, so the sealed vault in the submerged structure. Let's start from the beginning. The stranger came over here. An enormous reservoir with wooden piers and buildings on both shores. I found a room with a burned control interface and a projection that seems to indicate a broken connection between the stranger and another craft. Right, so that's their probe thing that they tried to suppress the signal of the Eye of the Universe with. I found a projection showing the stranger's current trajectory and the sun's predicted supernova radius. A slide reel that shows a strange vault being encased in a large metal structure and lowered underwater. It's metal. Nearly all the sides have been burned and cannot be viewed. From there, according to a slide reel, a strange vault was encased in a large metal and lowered into water. Okay. The submerged structure. A large metal structure suspended by chains. It can be entered by swimming from below. There's a sealed vault illuminated by a green fire inside the structure. I discovered a vast subterranean lake beneath the submerged structure. The sealed vault is resting on the shore of the lake. There are 3 interfaces, each marked with one of 3 symbols from the vault. I rotated the mechanism in front of the vault, causing it to strain against the chains holding it shut. Moments later, rays of green light spilled out of the vault. I found a strange vault wrapped in chains and marked with 3 glowing symbols. A slide reel from the river lowlands showed a strange vault being closed and sealed with chains and a glowing symbol. A slide reel from the Cinder Isles showed a glowing symbol and chains appear around a strange vault. Okay, appear on a strange vault. This is the first slideshow. Okay, and then the last slideshow. Okay. From there, we have the first area, which was the river lowlands. A low-lying region near the entrance to the stranger. There are wooden buildings along the banks of the river. I found several ornate artifacts inside a workshop surrounded by ghost matter. What's up, Marlex? Also, there's a hidden gorge. A narrow gorge along the rightmost branch of the river. There are dwellings built into both cliff faces high above. Inside the hidden gorge, I found the damaged laboratory. A laboratory with 3 test chambers. The second chamber is badly damaged and could be entered through a hull breach in the side of the stranger. I saw a vision-like recording of someone picking up an artifact and going to sleep in front of a green fire. The rest of the vision was distorted and difficult to make out, but a flame seemed to appear inside the artifact. I found a slide reel that shows 3 experiments conducted with 3 different artifacts. The 3rd experiment appears to have been a success. I got an achievement yesterday for killing myself by using the 2nd relic, for the record. What's up, Kelton? I wonder what would happen if I try to use the first one. Maybe it just won't do anything. I think that's what happens here, just nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens. Okay. In the hidden gorge, I found the abandoned temple. An abandoned temple marked with the symbol of a burning slide reel. It can be accessed from a passage in the hidden gorge. There is an interface upstairs that can be used to line up symbols in a vertical sequence. Entering the correct sequence opens the path to a secret room beneath the temple, where I found a slide reel that shows the stranger's inhabitants removing all of the slide reels from their shelves, scanning each reel with a device, and incinerating specific slides as well as entire reels. From this, I discovered 3 projections, map locations that led to slide burning rooms. There are 3 of them. There is one in the hidden gorge. I found a hidden slide reel that shows a container marked with a glowing symbol being handed to a shadowy figure. The lights are extinguished, and the figure carries the container into a secret passage behind a mural of a large tree. Now this one... Yep. You put the lights out. This was the spoopy whoopy one. I made my way down there. I followed it through. And then I found the slide reel that shows the stranger's inhabitants congregating around a strange green fire. Several slides have been burned and cannot be viewed. And we know that they're watching this and they're crying and they're sad because later we found out that they had to decimate their world in order to leave it, which is really sad. The reel I found And the slide burning room shows a container marked with a glowing symbol being handed to a shadowy figure. The lights are extinguished and the figure carries a container right. Okay, it's the same thing. In there, I found the Forbidden Archive, a library full of intact. Oh, this is Endless Canyon. Sorry, this is Endless Canyon. A massive canyon that stretches into the distance. A candlelit lodge is built into the far cliff face. I found a mural of a large tree on the bottom floor of the lodge. Okay. Right. Okay. Forbidden Archive there. A library full of intact slide rails hidden deep underground. There's a container marked with one of the vault seals, but its contents have been destroyed. I found a slide rail that shows the stranger's inhabitants congregating around a strange green fire. Intact slides reveal a creation of a simulated reality modeled after their home moon. I found a slide reel that appears to be some sort of error report. It shows one of the stranger's inhabitants dropping their artifact on the ground and walking beyond its projection radius. So that's got to be the key to solving one of those puzzles. I can obviously only see the platforms when I'm not within the radius of my device. So that piece of information from this archive is what is necessary to solve that part of the puzzle downstairs. But how I apply it is the question. They become digitized. Spectre. Okay. Then there was the Cinder Isles, where a pair of small rocky islands connected by a village and still dots to find a large metal symbol for the eye of the universe inside a burned out building. Right. And there I found a slide burning room. A hidden slide reel that shows a container marked with a glowing symbol being handed to a shadowy figure. The lights are extinguished and the figure carries the container down into a dark well, which is what I did yesterday. Burned slide reel that shows the stranger's inhabitants analyzing the eye of the universe. Several slides have been burned and cannot be viewed. But from that, I found the Forbidden Archive in the inverse darkness side, Starlit Cove. A secluded village nestled within a cove. A candlelit tower sits atop a nearby island. The well at the bottom of the village is guarded by a statue that activates an alarm bell when it sees me. I found the remains of a burned out building on the outskirts of the village. I reached the tower's upper floors by projecting a path to a second entrance at the back of the tower. And also, that would mean that if I die... Wait, does that mean that technically I didn't have to blow out the candles to get past that thing? All I would have had to do is go in there dead, and then I would have been able to walk by that fucking thing and it never would have set it off, dude. What the fuck? I found the remains of a burned out build. Right. I reached the tower's upper floors by projecting a path to the second entrance at the back of the tower. Right. Yes. A library full of intact slide rails hidden deep underground in this Forbidden Archive. There's a container marked with one of the vault seals, but its contents have been destroyed. I found a slide reel that shows the stranger's inhabitants analyzing the eye of the universe. Intact slides reveal the construction and launch of a spacecraft designed to block the eye's signal. I found a slide reel that shows two artifacts being lit near a green fire. The first artifact lights after its bearer falls asleep, and the second artifact lights after its bearer dies. I found a slide reel that appears to be some sort of error report. It shows an alarm bell failing to wake up one of the stranger's inhabitants. Right, and this is something that I recently discovered. When their consciousness, when their brain and their body is connected, they are still subject to sound from the bells to wake them up. When their brain is not connected, in this case, in the presence of the flame, still lit the lantern, which they were not expecting. And it put them in there. However, because their consciousness is not linked to their body any longer, when the bell goes off, the one that's dead does not wake up. There is no signal to send to wake them up. But those who are still alive, whose brains are still there, wake up. So, as I found out earlier, the bells, I can surpass them by being dead. Okay. In this island tower, the upper floors can be reached from a second entrance. I found a slide reel that shows the stranger's inhabitants opening a secret passage in a round room filled with lanterns and murals. The inhabitants are shown filing into 3 of these rooms throughout the stranger. Right. Symbol room. A secret room filled with wooden containers marked with different symbols. 3 of the containers are marked with glowing vault seals, but their contents have been burned away. I opened the container marked with the symbol of a burned slide reel and found a vertical sequence of symbols inside, which I then went... The light coming out of the vault gave me a vision of climbing a spiral staircase to a room near the top of a tower. One of the stranger's inhabitants pointed at a mural of an identical tower beneath a ringed planet, then picked up an artifact and carried it downstairs to a room with a green fire. Sometime later, 2 of the lamps in the mural room turned off, plunging the mural into darkness and revealing a secret passage, which led to 3 wooden containers, each marked with a glowing vault seal. That was the symbol room, but their contents are burned away. Vertical sequence of symbols, which I then took to the abandoned temple. Entering the sequence gave me the passage. Shows the stranger's inhabitants removing all the slide reels from their shelves and incinerating specific slides as well as entire reels. Then the projections. So it's... And then there's one more. Shrouded Woodlands. So from the river lowlands, I found the slide burning room. Okay, the figure follows a procession of green lights through a forest to a candlelit building where they carry the container into a secret passage behind a roaring fireplace, which I did yesterday. Slide reel that shows the origin of the stranger and its inhabitants. Several slides have been burned and cannot be viewed. That led to the Forbidden Archive. I found a slid... Okay, glowing symbol being handed to a shadowy figure. Okay, we saw that. Okay. A library full of intact slide reels hidden deep underground. There's a container marked with one of the vault seals, but its contents have been destroyed. I found a slide reel that shows the origin of the stranger and its inhabitants. Intact slides reveal the sacrifice that was made to build the stranger. I found a slide reel that appears to be some sort of error report. It shows one of the stranger's inhabitants jumping off a raft during a transition between areas and falling below the world. Okay, so it's death, the raft, and the loading thing. And it doesn't appear to matter which transition you're going through, they all take you to the same place. Okay, so here's what I have deduced. Because the last one requires you to be dead, it is the last one that you can go in for. So, that means that the one that needs the bells, where I'm dead, is the final step. Okay. The second one, I believe, is the middle step, and I believe it's that one because when you cross, you put the light out, you're still alive technically, and then you cross through and can get out again, or immediately can solve the third one, which is the platforms. Now, that's where I'm hung up right now. Is I don't understand how I meant to cross these platforms, which is a little bit of a damper because I thought that, I mean, it seems the easiest, but I guess I'm not quite understanding what I meant to do, because they're clearly platforms, but And since it's left to right, I mean, logic would lead me to believe that it is not far-fetched to think that I should be able to solve the left side before the middle and the right. But that may not be true. But I think conceptually, I even understood the hint for the left side before I understood the others. So it's funny to me that conceptually I've discovered the difference later, or for the other two, before I discovered perhaps the most simple of the three, which I think is why it's so painful to watch. Because I don't think it's that complicated. I think that, much like the quantum moon, it's probably relatively simple conceptually. But in order to arrive at the conclusion, I think is the difficult process. I understand fundamentally the action that I'm meant to take. But how I get there is what I'm struggling with. What I'm meant to do with that information is the applied science is the struggle. I did figure out a lot of shit yesterday. Yeah. So, it breaking does not have anything to do with me accessing the fire. Interesting. I can get into here immediately. Imagine it's just like jump on it. Duh. Even if I got over there, like I can only get halfway. How do I cross this? That's my struggle right now. I thought maybe if half the puzzle was in a phase and half of the puzzle was not in the phase, then I could use it to solve it. But I'm sure it's so simple. I've done this. Went through all this stuff. So I know how to do the middle one. I know how to do the right one. Why am I struggling so hard with this other one? Why is this conceptually so fucking confusing to me? Why is that so difficult? I just don't get it. Wait a second. Oh my god. I think I understand. Oh my god, Taylor. Oh my god. It's not even hard, you fucko. You fucko. You move it, and then you look, and they move. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, it was so easy, dude. It was so easy the whole time. It was the easiest one. It was the easiest one. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was the easiest one. Beautiful. Here we go, baby! Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Now that you've discovered the mechanic, you don't need the lamp to interact with it. Yep. So there's the first one. Boom. Alright, I figured it out. Let's go! So you get the first one. Then the second one you get by being a doofus and jumping off the raft during a load area. And then the third one you get by dying and waking up, or not waking up with the bell. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time in the loop, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, Marlex, I was really thinking about how it applied, and I don't know that what I learned necessarily led to the best of applications. I do think the base game is better in that regard. Okay, now we're gonna come through here. Okay. Dam hasn't broken yet, but it's going to very soon. Ugh. Very soon. So when this dam breaks, the first one will go, and that's fine. What's up, Wanry? And yeah, Fitz Pleasure, it really does. Makes you feel very smart, very dumb. You guys ready for a fucking ride? Hope you guys are ready for a fucking tumbler right here, baby. I might die, but I don't really care. I figured out the puzzle and I can apply it in any run. Here we go. Hell yeah, brother. Here we go. Let's fucking go. Just gonna send it. Oh, it drains out really quick. You gotta be real close to it if you want to get the effect. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, we're kind of schmoovin' now. You gotta be close to it if you really want to get the launch. You should stand on it next time. I think I did before. Actually, I don't know if this is the one I want to do this at. I think I actually just want to go to the next one. What? I thought there was an extra over here. Maybe it gets swept away when the tide comes. Okay, here's what we do. We're gonna meditate till the next loop, and then we're gonna knock it out. We're gonna knock it out.